Hello everyone. Been a little while since I've been on. My name's Dan Pelly, inspirational speaker for suicide awareness and prevention, and two-time attempted suicide survivor. And the theme of this video is, which I was struggling with quite a bit, about sitting with silence, dealing with the pain, and it brought me back 20 years ago, and this is the theme of this video. I ingested 250 Tylenol, and I'm not proud of it. And I'm lucky to be here. And it was a mistake to try to take my life. But when you're depressed and you're clinically depressed, we have no control. It's psychotic. We can get into a psychotic state. And you need help. And I wasn't getting the right help. It wasn't as abundant as it is today. But the shame and the stigma still stay. And is still part of the problem, because I believe stigma equals isolation. And although many wonderful organizations have brought awareness and prevention and probably reduced the suicide rate, kept others from killing themselves, I'm seeing the suicide rate of 30,000 20 years ago now at 47,000, and I want to try to make a difference, and that's why I'm here, to bring my experience to the table and what had happened to me and why I do these videos now, which I've been pretty much deadlocked with shame and embarrassment to even admit I try to take my own life. And I'm always concerned with the person on the other side of the screen, that one person. Although I have a lot of philosophy on life, I'm a practicing Buddhist for 9 years, and I try to reflect that and maybe help somebody that's just having a bad day. But my biggest concern and goal is I wish I had someone on the other side of the screen talking to me like this when I was struggling and running around and not getting the answers with counseling and spiritual priest and everything I was doing. But yeah, I ingested 250 Tylenols, and it wasn't pretty, okay? And even though it wasn't a more violent means, as men are more successful by gun, hanging, and women attempt more, but they're less successful because they go for the less violent attempts. Could be pill taking, which I did, thinking about family finding you and how it would be and the suffering you would leave with them. So I really want to go back to the silence and the pain. It was like an 800-pound gorilla on my back. It lasted for 6 months, 7 months. It just was relentless. And it wouldn't stop, and I was chemically imbalanced. And I knew, trying to get on some medication, and just was a little bit too late. I'm driving up and down the road. I buy the pills, and I'm sitting in my trunk, 250 Tylenol with a bottle of vodka. I'm like, okay, where am I going to do this? And then just reasoning why I shouldn't do it, right? I'm reasoning away, and I'm not going to do this. And then after 6 months of agonizing and painful, I walk into this hotel room, small hotel off the road. It doesn't matter the name. And I go in and I sit on this bed, and I'm in my silence, and I'm in this position. And I'm sitting there for 6 hours, and I'm like contemplating over and over, should I do this? And the pain was so condensed in my heart and in my mind, and so painful, and the crying and the writing of the notes to my son and to my family, and to tell them I'm sorry, that I want to end this pain, and I want to not be here anymore, and crying, just hurting, man, and sitting there in darkness for 6 hours. And I remember one point of it, I told my counselor this too, and when I start these videos, I think about where I was and where you might be today, and your life matters. It's my motto, your life matters, never give up. No matter what obstacle comes your way. And I made a mistake doing what I did. I really did. because I wouldn't be able to enjoy everything I've enjoyed in 20 years. Yeah, I've had my struggles. My stepdaughter almost got killed in an accident in '07 at 16. Now, okay, at 26, brain injury, but she lived. And I wouldn't have been here to champion her cause with the mother. And all of it. And I made a half-hearted attempt in 10 after her accident, after a few years. But this was, the first one was the one that I shouldn't even be here. So anyway, I was in the room, and I'm looking in the corner of the room, the very little corner, the small space, dirty, whatever. And they said, "This is it, Dan? This is where you're going to end it? In this room, they're going to find you, gone, dead." But I wasn't thinking rational. You're in a psychotic state when you're depressed. Actually, clinically depressed was my problem. And when you get into that clinical depression, there's no reasoning. Whether it's by chemical imbalance, leakage, these football players have gotten. The Junior Seau killed himself. I'm a big football fan, and shot himself in the chest because there's chemical imbalance, and they're figuring out from the leaking of the fluid, there's all sorts of reasons why people get depressed and clinically depressed. But I'm really, concerned for you on the other side, that you're getting medical treatment, that you don't sit in silence thinking there's no answer, because the professionals are there. Not everybody's the best, but when you find the right one and you find the right balance of meds to chemically balance you out, you can get better. And I'm living proof of it. But I sit there looking at this corner of the room and these pills for 6 hours and writing my notes and saying, "Oh, I just don't want to live anymore." And then just agonizing for 6 hours. And then at about, I don't know, it was about maybe 11 o'clock after 6 hours, I start ingesting. And I'm ingesting, and I'm drinking the vodka, and I'm taking the pills, and I'm getting them in. Like, I was determined, right? I'm going to get these all in, and throwing up very little, if at all, and just getting them in and getting them all down. And I just said, "Lay down. This is it." I lay down. The chemicals are affecting me. I think I'm going to end this pain. We don't end the pain sometimes. It just doesn't. Because even, they talk about this. I'm a practicing Buddhist for 9 years, that if you kill yourself, you got to start over where you left off. So it's like, I'm glad I wasn't successful, but this is not to push religion on anybody. But anyway, it's not a laughing matter, because it was excruciating. So I wake up at 4 a.m. and I say, I can't even kill myself. I mean, that's how much I lost my wife, my business. I moved. I was just devastated as a leader in my business and profession in real estate. So I wake up, I go to the mirror, I stumble to the mirror, and I look at myself, and I'm just totally green and red. I'm like a devilish function. My eyes are bloodshot. I'm green, and I'm like, okay, if I lay back down, maybe I'll just die. And I wake back up at 6 a.m. and I'm not dead. I call my sister-in-law. I said, I'm hurting. I'm sick. I took pills. I get home, and I don't know. I drove 3 miles. Believe me, I was so disoriented. I lay on the couch. She's a practicing nurse, and she sees me. Let's go. We go to the hospital, and the doctor's like, "What did you do?" I'm like, I told him I wanted to end my life, and I was hurting, crying. He said, "What did you take?" I'm like, 250 Tylenol. He goes, "What? 250 Tylenol?" So you're probably going to accomplish what you want to accomplish, but your issue with Tylenol is it takes over 48 hours, especially with adults. Maybe affects a child quicker. They can take a couple, and it can be mortality. But he was aggravated too. He was upset. He's like, "I'm trying to save lives here. You're over here trying to take your life." And I apologize. I'm like, I'm in pain, and I want to live. He said, "Well, we're going to try to save your life." I couldn't believe I said I wanted to live like that so easily. Like, I wanted to die 6 hours ago. So I kept saying, I want to live. I want to live. I don't want to die, and all of it. And it was like, he said, "Well, you're probably going to accomplish what you've accomplished." So, and I'm learning this through the kidney doctor, the liver doctor, that how it affects you, Tylenol, and how it's going to break down your organs and you're going to die, to the point after 2 days of really hallucinating, and it was just excruciating. But I had to sign these documents over and over and over, and I'm like, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Now I want to live. So the transformation from going from wanting to die to wanting to live, and the destiny, like my shirt says, and what occurred, and why I survived with no complications. But it came to the second day, and they said, your levels are up, Dan. Your organs are going to break down. You better contact family. Because they said your levels are what they were watching. Up, down, up, down, up, down. It was excruciating. Dialysis machines going away for somebody else. Finally gets to me. It was just an ordeal in the IC unit, intensive care, and I wanted to live so bad, and chanted for the first time back then, and never practiced till '08, what I do in my Buddhist practice. But I ended up, thinking I had to call family, and they said, well, let's wait one more day, and then the next morning I had all these doctors standing over me, and they just couldn't believe it. They said, your levels went down, they're not increasing anymore. We've been watching them, and they've looked like they've leveled off, and it looks like you're gonna survive. And I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. It just, the death was upon me for a couple of days, and so I started coming out of it, and I'm starting to get better, and I'm walking around the IC unit. The nurses and doctors looking at me like, wow, it's amazing, man. People take much less than that and die. And I said, well, I guess I'm here for a reason. So I vowed never to do it again. And although I made a half-hearted attempt on my stepdaughter a few years later, nothing was excruciating as this, and never to go back and attempt again, and hopefully make a difference of 8 years of deadlock to bring these videos out and talk that out of the person. It's not worth it. I shouldn't have did it. It was a mistake. Your life matters. My life matters. Never give up. That's what we gotta take that concept on, but I can't judge anybody that's in pain. You have to find it within yourself when you're sitting with the silence and the pain you're trying to deal with, that how you're gonna find your way through. And hopefully I can help that a little bit, and maybe encourage and inspire that your life does matter, and never give up. So anyway, my brother's visiting me, and I'll tell you, man, I like Klondike bars. I'm eating this Klondike bar, and I'm like shoving it in my face. I'm like, oh, I felt like I was like in heaven eating this thing, right? My brother and sister-in-law look at me, cracking up laughing. I'm like, what? And look at me, I got it all over my face. I said, that's the best Klondike bar taste that I ever had in my life. I'm missing the hot dogs at Fenway Park and all the things, and finding reasons to live. Here's the thing, finding reasons to live, not reasons to die. Because we can find a lot of reasons to die, right? We get obstacles every day, and they come at us, and it's just never ending. So, but the pain of ingesting 250 Tylenol, and the throwing up, and cleaning my system out, and not having any complications, and being healthy is I was fortunate and protected. But get yourself help. I'm going to wind down this video. Got a couple more minutes, but I know some medications, they can enhance the suicide obsessiveness thoughts, but you got to get on the right meds. You got to find the right doctor. I believe certain meds will balance you out. You're chemically imbalanced. I'm med free. I've been med free for 7 years. I was determined to stay med free, but that's where I am today. But that doesn't mean that's for everybody. But the meds did help me quite a bit, and they've got me balanced. But so I hope, talking about this and that I've ingested, I did that, and it was wrong for me to do. I shouldn't have. And it's just I want to inspire you that your life matters, whatever means you're thinking that. My biggest thing as a male was to say, I need help. I'm sick. Please help me. Find someone that you can grab onto, not to be codependent on forever, but to support you. So I'm going to end with this wisdom. I usually read about 3 or 4, but I know sometimes the concepts, they're hard to grasp, but I want to read this to you. And we'll end with that. And I hope I made some difference in my conversation with this and inspire you to live on. So here goes. I read this about a week ago. There may be times when life seems gloomy and dull, when we feel stuck in some situation or another, when we are negative towards everything, when we feel lost and bewildered, not sure which way to turn. At such times we must transform our passive mindset and determine, I will proceed along this path. I will pursue my mission today. When we do so, a genuine springtime arrives in our hearts and flowers start to blossom. And spring's coming. Winter always turns to spring. But anyway, that's it for now. I'll be back with another video soon. And don't ever forget, your life matters. Never give up. Spring's going to be upon us. Go for it, man. You got a purpose in this life. Find it, grab onto it, and run with it. My name's Dan Pelly, inspirational speaker. Your life matters. Never give up, and we'll see you on the next video. Have a winning day. Have a winning life. Ciao.